Let's get started.
Grace and peace. This is the Reverend Dr. Nicole Simpson, and tuning in for Standing on Business today. Listen, if I could just be quite honest with you, this is the month of September, and the first 15, 16, 17 days have felt like 50 days. I am not joking. We have gone through so much, not only as I personally remember the tragedy of September 11th. I pray that last week's episode really helped you to get some level of insight on why I do what it is that I do. But the country experienced a death that really has divided us further. And I always like to look at things from the lens of what message can I convey? What is it that I can share, given the context as a Black woman in a predominantly white male business that has shown some level of success and is committed to us being financially free. And so I want to just start off with one of the reasons why we started this Standing on Business, and me telling individuals that we are minding our business in 2025 and beyond is so that we understand that at the end of the day, we have to provide for ourselves and our families. And yes, there are obstacles that stand before us that may try to hinder our ability to do so. But there is still strategic visioning and opportunities that are afforded to us that we must take full advantage of. We see these moments of disparity when we have circumstances like we've had in the last week. My goal is always to ensure that you have a plan of action in place before you even know that you have a plan. Last week, I talked about the trauma that was associated and how I can easily identify that in spite of the expertise that I have. The reality is that I've endured some level of hardship that includes economic hardship, even in the industry that I'm in, because I was incapable of working to the level. And I've not only had to pivot, but I've had to pivot again, and then I've had to pivot again. Earlier in the year, we are starting to see the numbers of African American women, very specifically, that have been losing their jobs. Unemployment is starting to creep up. The jobs are slowing down, meaning job availability is slowing down. The economy is being impacted by the tariffs that have been associated. And so it's a struggle right now. For many individuals that have skills, talents, gifts, your only direction or opportunity for survival may very well be the entrepreneurial route. If you're looking at people that look like you, and everyone probably knows someone that has been let go from their job, especially if you worked in federal government, let go from their jobs, and now you're not unemployed for 2 to 3 months. Some are 6 months, others are a year to 2 years. And those that are finding a job, they're finding themselves in a position where they're taking a fraction of what they have been accustomed to making in the past. These are our realities. And so how do you drive? How do you thrive? How do you continue to push forward? How do you navigate? How do you find yourself in a place where you are trying to maintain your standard of living? This is why I talk about entrepreneurship, because I think that that is one of the ways to make it happen. But to neglect or negate the fact that the trauma is real and it hinders us sometimes from being capable of moving forward, that would be a disservice to you. One of the things that I did not identify last week is the struggles that I had to put myself in a place to begin to move forward again. If we're really talking about financial trauma, it stops you at the point of grievance, and it hinders your ability to even sometimes think logically about what your next step is going to be. to get out of the situation that you find yourself in. That's trauma across the board. Financially speaking, there may be some elevated levels of risk that you're taking, trying to get back on top. There are some levels of inaction. There are some levels of ignoring the signs and continuing to move forward as if nothing has happened. And so what you find yourself doing is depleting all that you've accumulated because you're going on as if everything is normal. It is not normal. What it is that you're going through, what it is that we're feeling, where we are in this country right now is not normal. And so if you don't have a strategic plan in action, whether that means I need to find another job yesterday, whether that means I need to invest into myself to move myself and my family forward, whether that means evaluating what I do have to see what it is that I can cut off to navigate and find my new normal, all of those things are critical because the experience that you're enduring is real. The targeting that you feel may be real as well, just based off of the environment that you're in. But in as much as you have heard me say that we're minding our business, I do not want people to confuse that with complacency or inaction. See, minding your business means that you're focused on you. You're going to put the mask on yourself to ensure that you and your family are going to be all right, even in the most tumultuous of times. I'll give you a perfect example. At the beginning of the year, in my evaluation, for those of you that do not know, I am a pastor. Shout out to Micah 7 Ministries, and this is our year 10 of celebration next month, celebrating 10 years of being in existence. But one of the things that I said to the congregation is that if you're fortunate enough to still have a job, make sure that you are investing in whatever the retirement plan is available unto you. If you're fortunate enough to identify your gift, make sure you legitimize the business that you have. If you're fortunate enough to have the same level of income or have some level of promotion, make sure that you are saving more and spending less. This is the time to budget so you can create a strategic plan. One of the things that I realize is that sometimes we'll create a plan of action and we won't go back to it to look at things to see if adjustments need to be made. Minding your business says, I am so intentional about looking at where I am and where I'm trying to go that it requires me to do a check-in, not only with self, but it may require you to do a check-in with all other parties that may be involved with you as it relates to your financial freedom and your ability to maintain self-sufficient. Listen, I'm going to keep on this for a moment because of the times that we're in. So make sure that you're tagging, texting, letting other people know about this, but that you yourself are fully invested. So like, subscribe, share, make sure you get the notifications that when these gems drop, you have them. Finally, if you're in the New Jersey State area, ladies, on September 27th, I am going to be in Paterson, New Jersey, doing my Mind Your Business tour. Yes, we're back on tour again. I'll be in Chicago, October. But for those of you that are in New Jersey, you might want to come hang out with me. All of the details can be found on my website, www.NicoleBSimpson.com. Talk to you later. Minding our business. Financial trauma is real. So recognize where it is that you have been, and let's navigate through those emotions together.